Well, I'm having a bit of a learning experience today, so I figured I'd show my learning with everybody, so that that the knowledge is available to the world. Anyways, um, the old Saab engines, actually all engines that are poorly maintained, have bad oil change. They have that clatter when they start up, and it's normally from the hydraulic lifters. The typical remedy is obviously just to replace the hydraulic lifter, although these, of course, are rebuildable, or not rebuildable, but I mean, you can clean them and get them functioning again so that they don't clatter like hell, like a diesel when you start them up. So my experience has now taught me that there are two different types of these lifters on the Saab engines. And one of them for sure, I remember them being rebuildable. And then the second type I've seen, I thought originally that are not rebuildable, but as I learned today, they actually are. I mean, it figures they're put together by a person. You should be able to take them apart, right? Hopefully without destroying them. That's sort of the goal. So, of course, the process in getting these lifters apart to rebuild them is basically the Terry's chocolate orange method here. We'll take this piece of block of wood. You can see I've done a bunch of them. But we're just going to... Okay. Sometimes they come out easy, sometimes they don't. So anyway, here's the actual bucket. This is the part that the cam actuates, and then the inside of there, so the oil, obviously pressurized oil, goes in that hole, fills this cavity, and then there's a little sort of hole drilled in the bottom of that cavity that goes into the actual hydraulic lifter. So this is the actual hydraulic lifter. You can see that it's got some squish to it. I mean, that's good. So this isn't actually an old style. So you can see that there's a check ball in there. So the old style come apart real easy. On these, you just... Can I do it with one hand? Come on now. I think I can. You just pull the center piston. You pull the center piston out. And what you're left with is the check ball assembly on that part. And you're left with, obviously, the spring and the on the other side. So from here, what we would do is you'd take a very small screwdriver and you'd pry up on the little holes here and the little hole and the little hole in there, and you'd pry that little metal thing out of there, and in behind there is going to be a tiny, tiny little spring, and of course the check ball. So you take all these parts, you'd soak them in some caustic soda or something that's really, really strong to get rid of all of the carbon deposits, put it together, hopefully with all the springs and balls in the right place, and you should have a silent engine again. So that's the old style. So when I was doing the hydraulic lifters on the convertible Saab, as you can see, they're all soaking in some degreaser right now. The hydraulic lifters are here. I did notice that these guys are a little differently. So on that one, you can just pull the pistons apart. On this one, it's like it's as if they sealed it together. We've got this pressed on cap. And I was thinking, oh shit, I guess they're not really rebuildable. So I'll just, clean them the best I can with some solvent through the check valve, squishing it, because this still has some squish to it, right? Just like a regular hydraulic lifter. It just didn't seem like I could get them apart. But as you can see in this bucket, you totally can. So if you arm yourself with a very tiny jeweler's screwdriver, like so, you can pry that little cap off of the top of the actual hydraulic lifter. It's just this little spring cap, and that holds the whole shebang together. And once you do that, the whole thing basically falls apart in your hands. And of course, you can pull that little hat behind the check ball off, and you can see that this one's, if the focus, that one's got lots of junk on it. So yeah, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull 15 left of these apart, throw them on this bucket, and we're gonna let them soak for a couple of days while I do other things. And then I should be able to reassemble with some engine oil and get these lifters basically as if they're brand new. So just thought I'd show a little bit more of my knowledge that I've learned over the last couple of days. So yes, if you have the old style, they are obviously rebuildable, so you don't have to spend $30 per lifter if they're clacky. And if you have the new style, hey, they're rebuildable too. Anyway, bye for now.